Welcome to the On Deck podcast for all your baseball DFS needs with your superstar host, fantasy baseball experts, Casey, Bubba, and Bogman. On Deck podcast is sponsored by LineStar app, the #1 top-rated data and analytics tool for daily fantasy sports.
To another episode of the On Deck MLB DFS podcast brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB, and download the app on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. You will not regret it. It has everything you need for your MLB DFS needs, and it has it for NFL and other stuff. We'll be with you for the NFL season as well, but you can find myself on Twitter at BDentric and my co-host, as always, on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how are we doing today?
I'm good. Another day, another no-hitter, Bubba. So
it's ridiculous.
Who's going to throw one today? Who's going to throw one today?
You or I, probably. This is ridiculous. I'm so over it. It used to be so cool to see a no-hitter. Now it's like,
okay, but how about this? That all 6 official no-hitters have come against 3 teams total. It's more about those really bad teams than it is about
true. That's
the
fair.
Amazing pitching, right?
That's fair. I'll let you go there because I think I saw the CSW stat that Alex Fast made, which was outstanding. I think they were saying that Corey Kluber had like a 61% CSW on his curveballs today.
Yeah.
Like, that's just embarrassing. Rangers, that's embarrassing.
I mean, they're in rebuild mode. Seattle's in rebuild mode. Cleveland is kind of. I mean, they're not really. They're not.
They didn't pull the pin. They just kind of, they're half in and half out.
Yeah, they pulled one pin, and it's a slow bleeding death. You know, it's not all at once like Texas and Seattle have been. So, it was. I guess at least it was against those teams, but yeah, I mean, I think you're more disgusted by the fact that Corey Kluber threw it than anything
That's
else,
part
right?
of it too, yes, because I will stack the snot out of whoever he faces next.
Yeah,
like, bring it on. Like, I am so on board with that one. So
hopefully it's not Seattle.
Let's just say, and I won't go too deep into Corey Kluber because I'll probably say it again when we talk about him next week. But his 2 best starts this year are against the Tigers and the Rangers.
Yeah.
So let's not get too excited.
Well, here's what I'll say about Kluber too. Like, I know that everyone calls him Klubot and he's boring and all that stuff, but I mean, what is the deal? Is he actually physically a robot? He did not smile once throughout his post-game interview after throwing a no-hitter. Yeah. Come on, man, smile.
Maybe he's just as annoyed. Probably he's like, this is ridiculous. Too easy. It was too easy. He didn't even break a sweat.
I mean, I think he threw like 102 pitches, so he almost had a complete game shutout under 100 pitches. So.
That's ridiculous. Like, I won't go too much more into it. You make a good point. It's only 3 teams at least, which is nice, but it used to be so cool. Like, oh, we got one no hitter. Like, it was the cool. Now it's just like, yeah. Okay. It's like, what are we going to get tonight? Like, here we go. It's so much fun. But sorry, I'm not going to try to be a buzzkill. Just it was just like, God, not again. But there was some good stuff. The Red Sox and Jays put up some runs. Looked like it was going to be a lot more the way that game started, but it kind of slowed down. You had the Brewers and the Royals putting up, I think, close to the most runs this evening. So weird night to say the least.
Yeah, it was a weird one. Humphreys got his homer. Who did he have again? Who was it?
Juan Soto. That's
right. So didn't get mine, but it was one of those. Last time I looked, Goldie was 3 for 5 with a couple.
He's
RBIs,
having a big game.
So, yeah, he was having a nice game, but didn't get me that homer. So we'll see.
Yep, win in Rome, as the Romans do. So that's good there. But on your Thursday, what you're listening to us for, we have 4 games early and 4 games late. So
I mean, it's supposed to be a 5-game late slate, but one of them is a doubleheader. So that's why we only have 4 games apiece. Minnesota and the White Sox, I think it is, a doubleheader. So
lovely. So we'll break both of those down for you. And I'm just warning you ahead of time. If you want to take the day off and go take your significant other out, get some brownie points. Gonna say it for you because it's not the prettiest of slates, and it's gonna be pretty chalky, I have a feeling. So let's get it started, Bogman. We'll start with the early slate. It starts at wonderfully 12:35 Eastern, 9:35 Pacific. So even earlier than normal. You have Giants at the Reds. Giants going for the 4-game sweep. Just going to throw that out there. Johnny Quaid over Tyler Mahle over under 8.5 on this one. You have Cueto at 8,300 and 8,500 respectively on DK and FanDuel. Molly's 92 and 99. Molly is the most expensive pitcher on the early slate, so I'll let that sink in for you. Do you like any of the pitchers in this game?
I actually kind of like both of them. Molly, quality start last time out, high K upside against the Giants, and they got to get one win. Cueto, I'm more on Molly, but Cueto 7 1/3 in his last 2 starts. Started really well, but I'm probably going to go ahead and pass here. So I like him, but I don't think in this slate I'm going to take him.
I'm cool going with Molly too. The Giants' offense is sneaky good; they really are. But like you even saw on Wednesday night, they really didn't do a whole lot to scare you. On this slate, when we keep talking about the other pitchers involved, Molly checks the boxes for the most expensive guy for a reason. So I have no problem going there. And at the same time, Cueto's been good, but man, like Winker is just on fire right now.
Yeah, there's some strong hitters. Castellanos, John India is starting to hit. Suarez starting to put it together. Winker and Kyle Farmer, 2,300 on both is a nice cheap option too. Shogo's starting to hit a little bit, 23 and 2,000, and your boy Dubon is hitting 29 and 2,000. PVB Crawford 2 for 6 with a double against Molly, but not a lot after that.
Yeah, it's like with the Giants, I'd imagine Crawford might even sit, but Posey will probably sit. You'll get Dickerson in the outfield, Yaz in the outfield. So you get some lefties.
Always weird lineups, day game after night game.
So you'll get some exposure to the lefties versus Molly, which is the way to beat him. But it's going to be backtracking for 2 seconds. Molly's going to be the most popular guy on the early slate. So if you want to stack the Giants, that's your way to just blow the whole thing up.
Right,
so that's true. Throwing that out there right now. And lefties, that's if Molly ever gets beat up, it's lefties, and the Giants have 4 or 5 you can play with. I wish Belt was in it; that'd be really nice, but they don't. All right, Tampa Bay at Baltimore on this one. This one blew up. This was the most run scored tonight. It just dawned on me again. It was like 9-7 was the final. Double donged and a big double. Mancini double donged. It was just a monstrous game. And now we got Rich Hill versus Dean Kramer in an over-under of 9 on a 4-game slate. Rich Hill's been sneaky good, though, of late, Boggs. Really good. I don't want anything to do with Kramer. Hill's 87 on DK, 93 on FanDuel. I think it's kind of a contrarian angle, especially after people saw Baltimore beat him up on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, Rich Hill is a good option here for this. You know, you have 8 pitchers to pick from, so he's a pretty good one. 2 quality starts in a row. I do like him here. Kramer is not bad, decent the last few times out, but surprisingly in a shorter slate, there's a couple other guys I like. I mean, Hill is one of them. There's probably really only one other guy I like on this slate, but I would take him over Hill. So I'm going to say Hill is probably 3rd on my list after my number 1, and then Molly, and then Hill.
Yeah, no, I like Hill quite a bit, but I also like some of the bats in this game. Austin Meadows, after the day off on Wednesday, double donged on Tuesday. Hard to pass up on him. There's a lot to like in this Rays stack against Kramer that should be very, very popular on Thursday.
They're starting to hit. You know, Yandy Diaz is cheap, 3,100 a piece. Zanino, Wendell, Willie Adames, Manny Margot. All these guys are starting to put it together. Then on the Baltimore side, Austin Hayes, Trey Mancini, Cedric Mullins, DJ Stewart have all been hitting, and Freddie Galvis, little PVB, 3 for 10 against Hill with a triple. So 300 average with 1 extra base hit is pretty decent too. So there are some bats to like here.
And the other Ray that I really, really want a piece of, he's been batting 3rd the last couple of games. G-Man Choice, 3,400 on DK, 33 on FanDuel, and he's hitting everything right now. So he's a guy I would circle as well. New York Yankees at the Texas Rangers. Herman versus Dunning, over under 8.5. Rangers just got no-no'd. You got Herman, who's either usually really good or gets blown up. So this is another kind of Corey Kluber situation. What do we get? And Dunning's been kind of good, but
they just don't let him go deep.
No. So are you on Herman? Is that your guy?
Yeah, that's my guy. 2 quality starts in a row, 12-3 strikeouts to walks in those 2 starts. And Texas is coming off of a night game where they got no hit and now have to play in the morning. Give me Herman. I like him a lot today.
Yeah, can't argue it one bit. I think Dunning's a nice contrarian play if you want to get really weird. There's not really any other guys besides maybe Cueto, but Dunning's super cheap. So I see the appeal if you want to go there. But there's enough value on the slate. You don't have to do it. Herman, it's going to be Herman, Molly, and Hill are going to be the 3 picks, like you mentioned. Yeah. So pick your poison, basically. What bats do you like in this game?
I like Judge and Urshela and Voit. Texas just got no hits, so I probably don't want many bats there. But you can go back to the guys that had been hitting before this game: Garcia, Solak, IKF, whoever you want there. If you're not taking Herman, but I think Judge is obviously the biggest one here.
Yeah, Judge is just definitely a big play, but I do like going back to the Rangers in this one. We saw the Tigers get going on Gilbert and company on Wednesday. It's tough. As bad as these offenses are, it's tough to keep them down for 2 straight games. So give me some of these Texas guys we've been riding for value on a 4-game slate. Literally make 1 or 2 lineups and get as weird as possible because you won't win anything if you keep it chalky. Like, you can be kind of chalky on these big slates and get away with it. On these small slates, no, not a chance in hell. So you got to get weird, and the Rangers and the Giants is where you're going to get weird tonight.
Let's get weird.
Yes, I'm all about getting weird. Last one on the day slate here, we have the Washington Nationals at the Chicago Cubs. We know total because Wrigley Field, but the wind is supposed to be blowing out at 12 miles an hour to left field. And we have Mr. Ross versus Mr. Williams. I don't want either pitcher on this one, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting good bats because I like the Nats again.
Stack. I mean, a lot of PVB versus Ross. Javier Baez, 3 for 6 with 2 doubles against Ross. Chris Bryant, 3 for 11 with a double. 2 for 7 for Schwarber with 2 bombs off of Williams. That's Turner, excuse me. Schwarber, 8 for 26 off Williams with 3 homers and a double. So there is some nice PVB data here, and hot hitters on both sides too. Contreras is hitting, Duffy's hitting, Happ's hitting, Horner's hitting, Jock Peterson is hitting, Josh Bell is coming around right now, Victor Robles also coming around, and Yan Gomes has been hitting. So lots of hitting in this game to buy. So I'm a stack either side of this.
Yeah, both are in big form here. Just so you guys know, play Kyle Schwarber because I hit him as my home run call. So he's going deep on Thursday. I can guarantee you that.
He's got 3 home runs off of Williams in his career.
It's happening. So. Team BVP and Team Bud choked on Wednesday is going to happen. The other thing I'll mention is Victor Robles has been raking. I've been loving him as a wraparound stack. He messed up his ankle and left the game. So Andrew Stevenson will probably start, and he's super cheap. So keep that in mind.
I didn't see
if you want something as well. It was kind of weird because he stayed in the game for like an inning or 2, and then he bounced. So maybe he'll be fine by Thursday, but I think we might see a day off for Victor Robles on that one. But yeah, there is a lot to like in this game. Like basically on the day slate, the Washington-Chicago game and the Tampa Bay-Baltimore game is kind of, I think, where people are going to sow their seeds. Yeah. And then you kind of pick your 3 pitchers and go to battle type situation. That's
absolutely.
That's the gist of it for now. But if you want to be different, I'm telling you, Rangers and Giants, that's where things happen. All right, let's head to the 4-game evening slate on this one. Miami Marlins at the Philadelphia Phillies. Alcantara versus Vinny V. I love Vinny V, but Miami has his number. The over-under is 8 in this game. Alcantara's been good. This is a really tough one for me to like because both these pitchers seem to be great. Both not. Both offenses are wishy-washy. On a 4-game slate, though, I think both are in play.
Yeah, I mean, Alcantara more than Velasquez for me. And I don't know. I just can't do it. I can't. Velasquez is kind of like Trevor Cahill, right? Where I just can't pick him and then look at myself in the mirror. So I'm not going to do it. So Alcantara roughed up. I think he gave up 8 in his last start, but he had 3 starts in a row before that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm okay rolling the dice here, but there's some good PVB data against him. Harper is 6 for 16 with a double, 5 for 13 for Segura. On the other side, lots of PVB data versus Velasquez, as you're not surprised here. Our guy, Jesus Aguilar, 3 for 5 with 2 doubles, 3 for 6 for Diaz with a bomb, 5 for 17 for Anderson with 2 bombs, 7 for 17 for Rojas with a bomb, 3 for 9 for Garrett Cooper. And Chisholm and Dickerson have been hitting recently along on the Philly side with Hoskins and Miller. So even though Alcantara looks like the best pitcher on this slate, this looks like it could be a high-scoring game. Do we have an over for this one? I'm guessing not yet.
8. It was 8.
Is it 8?
It's the lowest one on the 4 games.
A little surprised by that, but I mean, Alcantara is he's the most expensive on this slate, right?
Yep.
No, there's one more that.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you are. Somehow. We're going to keep on that when we talk about it. I saw that earlier. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But yeah.
Yeah, because he looks decent in this slate too. And you're like, of course, he's the most expensive one. But yeah, I mean, so if you want to take Alcantara, great. But bats are pretty good here too.
The bats are good. When we get to the next 3 games, I am all like debating just using Alcantara and Velasquez and just not using any bats in this game and playing the rest. That's where my head kind of is because this is a mess, but definitely offense. And I kind of like the Miami side with Vinny V on the bump. I'm with you there. Pittsburgh at Atlanta. Oh, this is a good one. We have Will Crow versus Drew Smiley, over under 8.5 on this one. Yeah, I don't want either pitcher in this game. Drew Smiley is going to be popular because Pittsburgh's Pittsburgh. I get the
He's had 2 quality starts in a row.
On the 4-game slate, I get it. On the 4-game slate, I get it, but I hate it.
Yeah, like I said, Smiley's had 2 quality starts in a row, but he doesn't strike out enough for me most of the time. But I do like this Pittsburgh. I feel like I'd rather have Smiley. I think I'd rather have Smiley than either one of the pitchers in Miami and Philly. So I'll go there, but I don't like anyone on this slate. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not saying much. There's a little PVB data against Smiley on the Pittsburgh side. Kevin Newman, 2 for 5 with a double and a triple, 2 for 6 for Brian Reynolds with a homer. After that, I mean, Frazier's been hitting. You mentioned Polanco yesterday as a nice cheap option. He's still cheap, 3,000, 2,600. Atlanta side, Freeman, Contreras, Ozuna, and Riley are the guys that have been hitting recently. So there's some decent options, but I don't know. This is going to be an ugly game. This is one, if it was a bigger slate, I'd be like, just don't touch it.
Yes,
but it's 4 games. You got to get something from it.
You got to get something, unfortunately. And I'd love to attack Smiley as much as possible, but I think attacking Crow is the way to go. It's a little more expensive, obviously, but definitely an option here. But the main game here is Coors South, which was popping off for a while on Wednesday. I think it might pop off again because the wind is supposed to be, it's not going to be, it's blowing in, but it's supposed to be like mid to high 80s and humid. So, yeah, ball's going to be flying. So keep that one in mind. But it's Nick Pavetta versus Steven Matz, potentially the 2 best pitchers on the slate. But the over-under is 10, and it's basically Coors South. I ain't doing it, Bogman.
Pavetta is probably my favorite pitcher, but I get it. There's no great options here. Pavetta's given up 3 or fewer in all but one of his 8 starts, but the xFIP says that he's due for a blow up.
And Matt's on deep either.
Yeah, Matt's on the other hand started with 3 quality starts in a row, but hasn't had one in his last 5 starts. So there's no great options here, but that's why Pavetta is the most expensive, is because it looks like he might be the best, but everyone in Toronto is hitting right now. Yep. Vlad, Teoscar, Bo, Simeon, Gurriel, all hitting. Vasquez has he's 2 for 3 against Mats with 2 bombs. So nice option there. Cheap on FanDuel too at 2,400. Dahlback, Devers, Bogarts, JD have all been hitting for Boston. So this game, I wouldn't be surprised if this was 3-1, and I also wouldn't be surprised if this was 13-12. So it's one of those games that could go absolutely either way.
Yeah, it should be quite high scoring, I hope. You have also Kiki Hernandez, 2,700 on FanDuel, 35 on DK. He had a monster game on Wednesday. So did Simeon. There was about 5 or 6 home runs in that game tonight. There's just so much offense, like there should be almost every day. And I didn't mention it, but yeah, you said Pavetta's the most expensive guy. He's 96 on DK and 98 on FanDuel, which is just insanity to me. And then Matt's is 9K on both sides. So they're expensive. I'm going to pass. And that's why I kind of like the idea of using both people in Miami, Philly, or if you want to mix in Smiley, I guess, and then just using all of the bats in Boston and Toronto. All right. We're going to do this for a 3rd night in a row, Bogman. Arizona at the Dodgers. Merrill Kelly is pitching for the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's not even like if we recorded in the morning, it was still Merrill Kelly. He's gotten taken out 2.5 hours before every game. And
right.
Like, we're going to use somebody else. Oh, cool. It's still like a gas can righty, but they're getting the job done somehow. But okay, Merrill Kelly. I like the Dodgers bats. The Dodgers, though, are having Nelson open with potentially who did they have? I said it right here. With Edwin Yasetta coming in the back end.
Okay.
Yeah, no idea. But
pass on that, right?
Yeah,
Merrill Kelly, I mentioned this 3 days in a row now. This is where he might be okay. Is this
on this slate? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So we haven't won it in the last 2 days because we've had good options. Today, where we have nothing, Merrill Kelly might be a decent option. So, like in the morning slate where we had the 3, I think Kelly's the 3rd for me behind Pavetta, Alcantara, and then Kelly. Or I would say Smiley, Smiley, Pavetta, and then Kelly. Excuse me. Alcantara, I don't really want to mess with. So he would be my second or third, I guess, in this matchup. But against the Dodgers, I really don't want to play him. But you have to play somebody. Yep. So you can roll with Kelly. I think he'll be, lower owned. Obviously more than he usually is. Oh my good Lord, just a big error on Josh Rojas here as we're recording, but Eduardo Escobar hit another bomb tonight. Rojas has been hitting. Peralta's been hitting a little bit. Andrew Young is turning around, but then on the Dodgers side, there's tons of guys that have been hitting. Muncy had a double tonight. Lux hit a grand slam the other night. Taylor, Will Smith, Betts, Beatty, they've all been hitting. So this is a dangerous one. You're going to have to throw a dart and hope it sticks.
Man, just the idea of putting my lineup together with Drew Smiley and Merrill Kelly and puking for the rest of the night is going to be so much fun. But that's, again, like I said, 4-game slate, you got to be different. And that's one way to be very, very different. If you want the chalk bats, you got to take the non-chalk pitching. So yeah, it makes it very, very fun. The one last thing I'll mention, so we said 4-game early, 4-game late slates on DK and FanDuel, but FanDuel also has a 9-game all-day slate, which gives you Houston at Oakland in the middle of the day at 3:37 Eastern, 12:37. Yeah, we don't have to go deep into it, but I just want to give the option here because if you're playing the full game slate, you have Cole Irvin and Luis Garcia, two actually competent pitchers. If you like out of this whole slate, and Irvin's 85 on FanDuel, Garcia's 74 on FanDuel. Those guys are at least competent, or gives you more bats to attack to kind of spread out some stuff. If you play 9-day full day, makes things a little different. And FanDuel's only one pitcher,
in Oakland,
which helps.
Right?
It's in Oakland, and the wind is blowing out at 12 miles an hour. And I've said it before, that ballpark plays very live in the day when the wind's blowing out. So yeah, if you want some fun with some Astros bats that are really, really hot right now, or even some A's bats, you could have fun in that game.
I think I'm going to stick with Herman, even in that big slate.
So just throwing that out to people. If you want to get really freaky, there's a full day slate with an extra game in it for you. All right, Bogman. Like I said earlier, everybody check out LineStar on Twitter at LineStar app, at LineStar MLB, and download the app in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. If you could give a rate and review to the podcast on iTunes, we'd appreciate it. And check it out on the LineStar YouTube channel. You can watch our beautiful faces talk to you all day, or at least for like 25 to 30 minutes each day about the slates. Like it and share all the good stuff there. But the moment everyone's been waiting for, and usually probably for Ryan Humphrey's pick, which you can get in the tweet tomorrow, but is our home run call of the day. So if you retweet the tweet, and you are one of the 3 people that get picked to join Bogman, myself, and Humphreys, and one of the home runs happen, you win from free swag. So Bogman, on Thursday, May 20th, who is your home run call?
We got to pick out of the late slate, right?
Yes, the last 4 games, yes.
All right. Then go ahead and give me JD. Give me JD Martinez against Mats.
Yeah, that's who I had circled. So you took JD Martinez, so I'm going to take Xander Bogaerts.
There you go.
Give me the X-Man. X going to give it to you. So, Steven Matz, it's been real, dude. It's been real. But this slate's been real. So just 4 games early, 4 games late. I'm looking forward to a full day Friday. And so have fun on your Thursday. Again, take it easy. You can get Bogman on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I'm at BD Hendrick, and we will catch you guys next time.
Good luck.
Thank you for listening to the LineStar app On Deck podcast. Download LineStar app from the App Store or go to linestarapp.com for all your DFS baseball needs. If you love the On Deck podcast, support KC, Bubba, and Bogman by rating and subscribing. Good luck.